The price of fuel is at a historic high in Uganda. Pump prices have gone from just below $1 at the start of the year to more than $1.50, and many locals here say they are struggling to cope.
The cost of fuel is unbearable, and we have to pass on that cost to the customers. Some prefer to walk because they cannot afford, and we are not making as much as we used to.
Most of us do not own these motorbikes. These days, we make enough for the bosses. The balance is not enough to take home a decent meal.
The rise in petrol and diesel is already having a direct impact on a range of consumables, from fresh food to key commodities like sugar, rice and milk. But the government says people should not panic.
The rise in these prices is a temporary shock, and more so an external shock, having been caused by disruptions in the global supply chains by COVID-19, as well as now the geopolitics we are seeing in different parts of the world.
And according to Bank of Uganda, the crisis in Ukraine has sent global crude oil prices surging, and harsh sanctions on Moscow are adversely affecting global supply chains, especially for raw materials of key commodities like cooking oil and soap. The central bank says the conflict is also having an effect on the local currency.
So you find that all those who have been thinking of investing in countries like Uganda are thinking of maybe, do we move our money out? So in the last week, we've seen a number of offshore players trying to reposition themselves, trying to wait to see what's going to happen. So we've seen them demanding for more forex.
Uganda is still struggling to recover from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic after the country locked down some of its sectors for about 2 years. The government says its strategy for recovery is to vaccinate a big portion of the population against COVID-19, stimulate business activity, invest more in agro-industrialization, and promote exports and value addition. A plan it believes will create more jobs and put more money into people's pockets. Recently, Uganda signed a final investment decision to develop its oil and gas resources. The country is also a major coffee producer. Government statistics show Uganda exported more than 6.7 million bags of coffee last year, worth $741 million. The target is to increase production to more than 20 million bags by 2025. And despite the ongoing crisis in Europe, financial experts remain positive about the future.
There's a lot of optimism, there's a lot of activity, and things are beginning to look up. What do we see? Obviously, increased conversations. People who had put hold, or sectors that had put projects on hold, say over the last 2 years, are coming back to the discussion table.
But economic analysts argue the government has little space to act on fixing the price issue in the short and medium term. This is because the economy is liberal, with most businesses privately owned and free to set their desired prices.